This premiere episode had it all, honestly. A compelling character, an intriguing world, and heart-pumping action sequences. Welcome back to my channel, anime fans. Today I am very excited to give you my early review and discuss the premiere episode of Chainsaw Man, the long-awaited anime adaptation based on Tatsuki Fujimoto's manga set in a world where monsters known as devils fight the government-sanctioned public safety devil hunters, and tells the story of Denji, an impoverished young man who befriends a dog-like devil named Pochita, and despite their endearing bond growing ever stronger, Denji inadvertently steps into a world of hurt he is unprepared for. Now I want to give a big thanks to Crunchyroll UK for having me at their supercharged event to preview their fall lineup for 2022, where we were able to watch an early screening of this first episode, and as it doesn't publicly come out until the 11th of October, this review will have no spoilers. For reference, I never read Tatsuki Fujimoto's manga. I wanted to go into this show completely blind. I've heard the name Chainsaw Man multiple times. I've even seen him cameoing in one of my favorite animes of all time, My Hero Academia, in the all-out war between the heroes and the League of Villains. But into the show, I came completely unprepared for what was going to deliver, and it is a blast in every way. Unsurprisingly, the show looks great. Coming from one of the best anime studios out there, MAPPA, and having creators that worked on Jujutsu Kaisen and Fate Grand Order, MAPPA is one of those studios that can convey tone just with their design styles. The hard lines, the big contrasting color with high levels of saturation. The colors in this show just pop out of the screen, and they're able to convey their usual MAPPA style. You can recognize MAPPA on screen, but also every show looks distinct, and this show looks distinct, immediately giving you a great balance of tone through its lead character Denji and the world that he's a part of, with all these monsters and devils that we get to know so little of in this first episode, and that's exactly what makes them interesting. This entire first episode is dedicated to Denji and his friendship with Pochita, which is so adorable. I'm an animal lover, for those who don't know, so any kind of dog or dog-like creature, I'm immediately going to emotionally attach myself to them. But it tells a great compelling story of Denji, who is just a survivor. Day in and day out, this kid is just trying to survive as he is abused and torn down by the world and even the Yakuza. The show does a great job at showing him in high spirits, keeping on dreaming, remaining hopeful, and yet he's just so beaten down by life and by the tragedies that have hit him up until this point, even before we start following this story. So the show is able to plant intriguing seeds and establish its wider lore, but focus on this one character, tell an intimate story of how he is brought into this ugly, frightening world. Because speaking of story and visuals, this is not an entry-level anime. This is a hyper-violent, super gory metal series that holds no punches. This is one of the bloodiest things I have ever seen in animation, and from the little I know of Tatsuki Fujimoto's manga, it remains extremely faithful in regarding to the violence displayed on screen. And I was grinning ear to ear throughout this entire episode because I thrive on violence. I love seeing massacres on screen, and this episode right away delivers that and uses that as an entry point for our character into this mysterious world that has so much to offer, and the show is able to entice you into wanting to learn more without actually giving it everything to you right in this first episode. It has a great balance of having a character-focused narrative but establishing a ton of lore about its wider series that I'm sure it's going to come back into Denji's life. So like I said, This is not an entry-level anime. If you're not a fan of hyper-violence, if you're not a fan of super gory stuff, this is not for you, and that's fine. But as someone who adores hyper displays of violence and fight sequences that are incredible to watch, going back to the animation, this is sensational, and it shows our character so ill-prepared for everything about this. Like, he manages just fine, but he's so maladjusted to everything that is coming his way. But nevertheless, it's an incredible display of nastiness. So much blood in this episode. It's able to fill buckets. And the score accompanying this immense action sequence is so fucking metal. It's exactly the kind of music that should be accompanying scenes like this and set pieces like what Chainsaw Man is able to deliver in here. And I cannot wait to see what it delivers like in its climactic episodes and climactic arcs, because if this was just a premiere, my god. This premiere episode had it all, honestly. A compelling character, an intriguing world, and heart-pumping action sequences to die for that I absolutely need more of. And that's the best thing this episode does. It leaves you wanting more. Without getting into spoilers, leaves off in a place where I need to see the next episode. You establish something so great, the intrigue is there, and I'm compelled to follow Denji's story and see what he makes of himself as he dives into this world. But before I dive into my final thoughts on the premiere episode of Chainsaw Man, let me know what you make of it in the comments below. If you've seen it at New York Comic Con, if you are well into the series by the time you find this video, anything and everything down there. Once more, big thanks to Crunchyroll UK for having me. And if you're loving my Chainsaw Man review, if you just love anime in general, or if you love movies and TV, this is the place to be. So consider clicking that subscribe button and you won't miss any future conversation on your favorite animes, movies, and TV. Chainsaw Man is for action junkies who love their stories adrenaline fueled and dripping with blood. The premiere episode immediately commits to its hyper-violence, illustrating how the series will not be for the faint of heart. And that's my take on the premiere episode of Chainsaw Man. Let me know if you want to see more weekly reviews for this show. I'm curious to know your thoughts on it as well. Thank you so much for watching. Big thanks to Crunchyroll, and thank you to my channel members for always supporting the channel. Until the next one, love each other and love the movies.